Hey, Tipsy Geeks. Tabby Cat here, letting you know that we now have a YouTube channel. Go follow us at youtube.com/at Tipsy Geeks Unite. This material is intended for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey there, nerdy souls and fellow geeks. Welcome to Tipsy Geeks Unite, the podcast where two female geeks sip on their favorite cocktails and dive headfirst into the world of video games, streaming, anime, and all things nerdy. I'm Tabby Cat.
And I'm Miss Kate, and together we're your dynamic duo for all things geeky. Whether you're a seasoned gamer, an anime aficionado, or just someone curious about the wonderful world of nerd culture, you're in the right place.
So grab your favorite libation, kick back, and join us on this epic quest as we explore the ever-expanding universe of video games, the thrills of live streaming, and the captivating stories of anime. Expect lively debates, hilarious anecdotes, and all the nerdy knowledge you can handle.
We're here to be your guides through these pixelated realms and epic adventures. Whether you're looking for game recommendation and reviews, the roller coaster of streaming, or just a fun chat about your favorite characters, we got you covered.
So, are you ready to press start and embark on this epic journey with us? Grab your controller, raise your glass, and let's get started with another episode of Tipsy Geeks Unite.
Cheers to all the gamers and geeks out there, and remember, it's dangerous to go alone. Take a cocktail with you.
So what's our first topic today, Kate?
All right, Tabby, so what we're going to be finishing on our final episode of Season 1 is Baldur's Gate Act 3.
Woo!
Woo! I am so pumped for this.
So ready. I'm ready to, play another playthrough.
I know, I've been watching someone else do their first playthrough, and it's reignited a spark in me, but I told myself, you put way too many hours in it in one sitting, play some other games, kind of forget some stuff, and then go in and do a Dark Urge. A Dirge.
Yeah. A Dirge, yes. I want to do a Dirge playthrough and romance Astarion, and I want to be bad, but I think I want to fight against the Dark Urge, I think.
I
That's
think
where I'm at right now.
I think I'm gonna half it. I'm going to kill some people, but I'm also gonna do some good things. I'm gonna be in the middle. I think it really just depends, but I know I can't kill the tieflings.
I just can't. I don't know.
But if it wants me to massacre others, then why not?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Anyone but I don't want to kill refugees.
That's too dark.
If that's where I draw the line. If that's too nice, that's fine.
Understandable.
Nice, even in video games.
I know, I get that. But before we dive into Act 3, what are you drinking?
So, last night I just finished a watch party on Twitch for Husband Hotel, and we did a drinking game where this time, first watch party was a horrible disaster, but last night I was drinking Indeed Brewing Company Mexican Honey Imperial Lager, my favorite beer, so I'm having some more this morning.
Yum.
And what are you drinking?
I made mulled wine. I told myself, and my mom, shout out to my mom, she bought me a bunch of alcohol for my birthday. It's in a few days, and she's like, I got to keep the booze in a supply for your podcast. And she's like, I think mulled wine, you're always talking about how much you miss mulled wine from the UK, so why don't you make your own? And I told myself, mulled wine for Baldur's Gate is just fucking perfect.
Yeah.
So
how do you make it?
So you get a nice bottle of red wine. I think she bought me a Zinfandel. Sorry if I don't pronounce that right, but and then you can get mulled spices or you can make your own. She bought me a nice Irish, it's made in Dublin, mulled wine spice kit. And so it's got cloves and cinnamon and stuff in it, and then I put dehydrated oranges and some honey.
Ooh.
And then I put a little bit of apple cider to give it a kick. Usually you put brandy in it. I didn't have any brandy this time, but note for next time I will put brandy in it. But you just put it over in a pan, and you let it cook, or a crock pot, whatever choice, and you let it cook for 30 minutes, like on a low simmer, and just chef's kiss.
Interesting. I've definitely never had it before.
It's amazing. I had it for the first time in the UK, and it was at the Christmas market, and I was so addicted to it because I love spiced apple cider. I make my own. I have mulled spices for apple cider, and I tip it off, like top it off with brandy or something. Spike it with that. But I had mulled spice because it's the perfect winter drink in Europe, and you can't really find it where I'm at, and I don't know if a lot of places in the US really drink mulled wine. I've never found it anywhere, or seen it anywhere. So my mom, I told my mom about it, and she was just like, that sounds delicious. And so I made some mulled wine, and it's just a nice, cozy drink. It's so, and it also is just, if you can't make a hot toddy, make mulled wine. But it's really simple. It doesn't require a lot, and you can mix spices if you want. It's like cloves, cinnamon, maybe cardamom, a couple other things I'll have to look up. But yeah, it's really simple to make. I don't like it. I don't make it sweet. So like it says like for like a bottle of red wine, you put 1/4 of a cup of honey, and I just didn't put the honey. I put a little bit of honey in the pot, and then in my individual cups, like I don't like sweet drinks that much, so I just added a little bit of honey just to balance out some of the spice with the wine. But it's so good.
I really need to try it. It sounds so good.
You should. I'll send you a recipe. But if you like kind of like spiced drinks, like you like a little, like, it's not spicy like hot, but it just adds some nice texture, I think. But it's very cozy. I love warmed wine anyways. I love warm boozy drinks. It's makes you feel so good inside.
Never had warm wine. That sounds so strange.
Yeah, at first the concept to me was like, what the fuck is this? But like I said, at the Christmas markets in the UK, and even in like Germany and stuff, my friends were telling me that live there, it's very common, and you have it with the Christmas markets. They have like because Christmas markets originated in Germany, so you have tons of German sausages and things like that. So you eat it with a big old brat, and or you eat it with a roast. People tell me you eat it with a roast, but my house smells like Christmas right now, and it's awesome.
Oh, that must be the nicest fragrance.
It is so nice. It smells so good in here. It usually smells like oranges because I have like an orange freshener, or it smells like dog and cat, as we know. So it smells like Christmas, and yeah, and I'm gonna drink this. I'm already like almost done with it. I drink so much. I woke up at really early to get it going, and but it's so good. So good. Highly recommend.
Excellent.
But yeah, I'll send you a recipe. Mulled wine is very simple to make and delicious, and highly recommend anyone who hasn't had mulled wine, please try it, especially during the winter. It's just a cozy drink. And also a great drink for Baldur's Gate. I don't have mead, and if I had mead, I'd be fucking wasted right now because I drink mead like water. Mead is just...
Is it super, what am I trying to say? Like the high alcohol content?
Mead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I just had mead either.
I love the taste of mead because it's made with honey. And so I love anything with honey. If you have honey in it, I'll fucking drink it. And we had mead at a Renaissance fair, and it was the first time I had mead, and I got blackout drunk. Like my mom, I vomited on myself at the Renaissance fair. My mom and my aunt were like feeding me sandwiches and bread as I was vomiting. And my friends drove me home. It was great. I mean, and so after that, I just started buying bottles of mead. And when I was in the UK, mead is everywhere. So I made sure to have a lot of mead. But
You're
it
like, I
is
had a great time.
it doesn't taste like alcohol. It tastes like you're drinking, and you can have there's three types, like three ways you can drink mead. You could drink it cold, room temperature, or you warm it up. And the lady, when I went to this castle when I was in England, I was trying different types of mead that they make at the castle, and she told me I bought like 4 bottles because they were like 10 pounds a piece. It was so cheap. And she told me, this one's good with this. This is how you warm it up. Or if you want this one cold, this is room temperature. If you add this. And so mead, like, again, you can put mulled spices in mead, and it's just like honey cider deliciousness. And so,
Mhm.
yes, mead is amazing. It doesn't taste like alcohol. It tastes like a nice honey tea to me, in my eyes, in my taste palette. So there's 3 things I drink like water: mulled wine, mead, and soju. I will drink that like water because it doesn't taste like alcohol to me.
That's true. Soju doesn't.
Yeah, I downed a bottle of plum soju last weekend, and I mean, I was pretty drunk, but it was great.
Lovely. Now I want soju.
Yeah, I have a bottle of ginger soju next to me I was sipping on last night, so.
Ooh, ginger.
I thought it would be like ginger has like a kick to it, but this
Yeah.
one has the ginger. It's not artificial ginger flavored either, but it's got kind of a kick, but it actually has a hint of sweetness to it. Which I
Mhm.
was when my mom bought the soju for Lunar New Year. I thought, oh God, I'm gonna have to mix this with something because this is gonna be spicy or like that gingery taste. And no, it was so smooth and pleasant. So yeah, I love plum, ginger. I love the grape and the lychee soju. Love them, love
It
them.
really doesn't taste like alcohol at
It
all.
doesn't, and this is like 14% in this little tiny 375 milliliter bottle, and I just down it, and then I like, 30 minutes later, it sneaks on you, and I'm just like, what is going on? I am so wasted. Yeah, and then I got a bottle of Japanese whiskey in the kitchen as well.
Ooh, what kind? I got my first. I told you about my
Yeah.
Japanese whiskey I got. What kind did you get?
I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to go look, but it's very light. I thought my mom bought it, and she wanted to try it, and uh I thought it was I usually don't like smoky, like musky whiskeys that much. Very rarely will I drink it, and it's like a little bit, like a couple of sips. I don't like a full glass. And this one was very light. It's like a honey colored whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it has like subtle hints of like cherry blossoms and like orange. It's very delightful, and we were mixing it. My sister mixed it with a strawberry, like not seltzer, but like soda, just because she doesn't like whiskey at all. She hates whiskey, and I tried it, and I was like, wow, this like elevates it. It was really, really, really nice. So that'll
Is it
be something else I try.
is it Fuyu?
No, it starts with an
Okay.
S.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember.
Just curious if it was the one I had.
No, it's like in a white. It's in a fancy box. My mom went to this local liquor store that we have, and she said, Japanese whiskey, yes.
Go
um
on.
and so they helped her pick one out because she knows that my sister and I mean, I'll drink all whiskey. I'll try it once at least, but she knows that we don't. My mom loves like scotch, like the musky oak, smoked oaked flavored scotch, and I'll try it, but it's not my favorite. I
Hmm.
like I like fragrant, like flowery, fragrant whiskey. So that's me. I'm a girl.
It is nice. You're
I'm a girl when it comes to drinks.
a girly girl.
Yeah, as long as it's not super sweet, we're good. But soju is my bread and butter. Soju, mead, and mulled wine. It's so good. Ugh.
Mm.
Now I want to get a bottle of mead. Ugh. It's dangerous.
Well, maybe next time.
Right? Next season, I'll have a variety. I want to start theming my cocktails for the things that we talk about.
Yes.
I thought, yeah,
Like, it takes so much time and money to theme a cocktail.
it does, but I want to try at least like a few times. Like I themed mulled wine with Baldur's Gate today. But enough about our alcohol. You guys are here for
Yes.
Baldur's Gate Act 3. We taught when we first started the season, we did the first two acts. Tabby has finally finished Act 3 today, so
Like,
it is fresh as fuck. So
just
I'm
didn't even
excited.
do the epilogue. I was like, I'm done. Okay, let's record.
I need to do the epilogue, so maybe we can do like a little short one about our epilogue. Like we could do it like
Yeah,
we can do a Dark Urge with our epilogues. Oh my
that's a
god.
good idea.
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
do a Dark Urge when you start your Dark Urge and we can talk about it and then the epilogue. Because I really want to do the epilogue and I know that they've been seeing the patches that come out with like new kissing scenes and new dialogue and I'm just like,
I know.
yes.
I'm like, what the fuck? Did I miss anything with Karlach? Like, did I miss any more kissing or banging with Karlach?
Right?
I'm
I
always
know.
up for more Karlach,
I know. Did I miss out on some Asterion like
right?
schmooshies? But I mean, I'm still gonna romance Asterion in my Dark Urge. Like, I can't romance anybody else. As much as I tell myself, like, you can, I'm just like, no, he's my one and only. I'm still loyal to this broken ass, devious
You
bitch.
are ride or die.
I am. I'm a ride or die kind of chick. Like, as much as I would, like, fantasize about multiple dudes, I always just pick one. Just always one.
Oh, oh, but
Uh oh.
okay. So I found someone else
Oh.
also.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
You
Yeah.
know, okay, we can talk about it later or now.
Well, I want to just do a quick recap. If you guys
Yeah.
haven't listened to the first two episodes of the Baldur's Gate, please check that out. We talk about the different um, kind of choices that Tabby and I made and like how we felt about it, where we would like to see it go. And so please check that out. But a recap from Act 2, if you guys haven't listened, is basically Tabby unfortunately did not meet the Ketheric Thorm before killing Ketheric Thorm, and I met Ketheric Thorm before. So Tabby also didn't save the Tiefling prisoners, and I saved the
Ugh.
Tiefling prisoners. Those are the big differences that we had with Act 2, I think.
Yeah, because I thought that you had to build everything up for the very end of
Mm-hmm.
Act 2 when you face Ketheric. I didn't know you could go to his castle before the very end and like
Mm-hmm.
talk to him.
It doesn't give you
That
that hint. It's so good. Like, it
doesn't.
devious, but good at that. It doesn't do that.
Like in Act 1, when they give you the uh early hints of Ketheric, it's so foreboding,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more like, to me it felt like it's already dropping the hints
Mm-hmm.
about the big fight with him,
Mm-hmm.
and that it made him seem so fearsome
Mm-hmm.
and to be afraid of him that I should not go anywhere near his castle
Exactly.
before the final
Mm-hmm.
fight,
That's what
and to just get
yeah.
build your defenses and build your attacks and recruit more people.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I do, God, I'm gonna be saving a lot. I'm gonna be doing a lot of good things in Dark Urge to correct this stuff. Hmm.
Yeah,
Because
go ahead.
I don't know. Sorry, I could just go on and on about what ifs, but
Yeah. I
there's so
didn't
many choices.
there is, and I was like you, I thought, okay, Ketheric's like the big bad. I did, because I haven't played the first two Baldur's Gate, and I thought the way they talked about Ketheric, like, he's the big bad. He's the one behind the absolute, like, okay, like you, like, get everything done. But I actually, like I said, I kind of looked it up a little bit because I was scared that I was going to miss something because of the fight when you have to go save the Night Song.
Hmm.
And then I stumbled into his castle and I met him and I was like, wait, we're not fighting right now? Oh,
Like,
okay.
no,
Right?
we're not.
Am I missing something? Because I did everything around Catholic Storm's like fort or whatever before I went in there. And it was the moment that like kicked in me for Act 2 was when you are going to save Night Song. It's like, this is the point of no return. I was like, well, fuck, I haven't found the
Hmm.
prisoners. And I also haven't found Will's father or whatever. So I better just make sure. So I was like, we got quick save. We're fine. And that's I kind of looked up. They're like, he's in the, they're in the castle. You have to go in there. And I'm like, but when?
I just like royally fucked up Will's quest line from Act Two on, and it's a good thing I really didn't focus on Will in my in my playthrough because I feel like if I did, I would have been really upset with myself.
Well, I'll tell you about. I did my first playthrough. I did all of the characters' side missions that I had, minus like the main characters like Karlach, Shadowheart, Asterion, Will, and I didn't do Gale's. Well, kind
Hmm.
of, but we could talk about that. Because I know
Yeah.
that you did a lot more of Gale's stuff than I did. Like, I didn't know he had a fucking cat. I didn't know
Yeah.
until I beat the fucking game and I
I just
saw
kind
someone
of
else had a fucking cat. I ignored Gale for the most part. Like, he just wasn't significant to me. Like,
I get that because he's fucking annoying
mm.
sometimes. Like, oh, Gail, I just want to love you, but you're such a little bitch. But I came across this cat like fucking random on the top of a roof in Baldur's Gate, which was a nice surprise.
Hmm.
But I would like to have. I think there's more scenes with her if
Yeah,
you
and
delve
there's
more
yeah.
deeply into Gail's story.
Yeah, and see, I didn't do speak with animal. I that wasn't
I
my
can't.
thing. I did with speak with dead more than I did the animal stuff, so that's maybe why you stumbled upon it.
Hmm.
I was not interested talking to the animals. I was more about it was also my first game ever, like Baldur's Gate. Like I've never played a game like that before in my entire life, so I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
I talking with animals is my favorite thing about this game. So I can never have a playthrough without talking to animals. I swear.
I do it
I feel
every
like I'm
now and
missing a
then.
portion of the game.
I mean, I do it every now and then. I think it was my third or fourth playthrough where I started talking to animals a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's a great add-on, but I like Speak with Dead more. I'm just like it's
Mhm.
the I guess it's the morbid like the morbid part of me is just I like dead things. So, but
I like the
I
things is
like
really
dead things.
interesting.
Well, I mean, I just I like murder and crime, so I might as well just talk to the dead people just to see what's going on. Um,
But sometimes you can't talk with them. I feel like I come across more animals you can talk to than dead
yeah,
you can speak to.
probably.
But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Like I said, I didn't do speak with animals, so I know less about how much more content there is with that. But I'm sure it's a lot more. But yeah, but yeah. So end of Act Two, you beat Ketheric Thorm, and you beat his god, quote unquote, which is the god of
Mhm.
necromancy, essentially. And then you meet the other two collaborators, which is Orin and Gortash, and we left off saying, we want to know what's going on with Karlach and Gortash because Karlach had a strong reaction to Gortash, and
Mhm.
so Act 3, you if I remember right from my first playthrough, you start off kind of outside of Baldur's Gate, where you have well, first you're at a camp outside Baldur's Gate and you get infiltrated by Githyanki and taken to kind of that where the Guardian world essentially is, and you meet the Guardian again, which we know from Act 2 is a mind flayer. Ha ha ha.
Yes, the big twist. That
And
was very
the
surprising
founder
for me.
and he's the founder of Baldur's Gate essentially, right?
Yeah, kind of. He's like a bit. He was a big intrinsic character
Hmm.
in the making of Baldur's Gate, it seems.
Yeah, he was one of the mind flayers that escaped the absolute or the brain, the big brains kind of mind control and had his own um personality, his own life. And he used to be a thief slash adventurer that got captured by mind flayers and turned into it, and then he broke free. And yeah, and he kind of was like a huge part of Baldur's Gate.
What
And
a fulfilling life he's had too. He's
right,
had
I have
so
respect
many.
for him.
He
Him,
well,
her, whichever you picked.
it's. For me, it was a him. I feel like I he's a flawed character,
Mhm.
really,
Mhm.
and he's called the Emperor.
Mhm.
Um, or I don't know if he's called the Empress if it's female.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine was a
Um,
male. I mean, my before he became a mind flayer, he looked like Geralt of Rivia for Witcher, so he was a dude for me.
I like that eventually, basically, no matter what kind of guardian you choose and style them to be, it just turns out into a mind flayer. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I made mine look like green hair and dwarf, long shaky beard with metallic green lipstick,
Oh
and
God.
I was just doing mine was just for fucks and giggles. Um, but I this time I do want to do a playthrough where I trust the Emperor and do everything 100% how he wants.
Oh, you
And
didn't.
I didn't I disagreed with the Emperor a lot in my playthrough, and I'm like, why are you so being so bossy? Like he kind of got on my nerves by the end.
He kind of got on my nerves, but my first playthrough, I did everything he wanted. I sided with him, and I killed. I did everything he wanted. Basically, I also romanced him and had sex with him.
I did too, even though
That
I
was
I was
wow.
surprised he let me, even though I was very against him for certain things,
I wonder if
like
there's a
Orpheus.
threshold, like what the threshold for romance with Emperor is, or if there even is one.
I I don't know. I don't know what makes
I don't
him
know.
like,
I
or if he can like super hate you.
I don't know, but I just when I romanced him, I did it for shits and giggles, and I that was the sex scene that really just made my jaw drop. I was like, "What the fuck have I done?"
It's
And
sexy.
it's kind of sexy,
Fucking
but it was just
sexy.
it was I was like, this is different. And I love at the end of the sex scene where your companions actually accidentally like stumble upon you like
Yes.
naked with them and
Oh
they're
my
just
God.
horrified. Hilarious.
But Karlak didn't see me, and it's so funny. He's like I don't know. It's like how could they like let their guards down while they're fucking, and there's just this window opens up to your camp where they watch you, where your friends watch you. Like I didn't understand that, but the Emperor's like, I'll just wipe their minds. It's okay. So fan fictiony to me.
It was definitely an experience. I had a lot of sex in Act 3, a lot of sex in Act 3.
Yes, because you go to the inn, the tavern
Well, I
with
didn't
the
bang the
drow
drows.
twins.
I didn't bang the drow twins because uh
Did you?
well, I was just not interested. I don't okay. I don't like drows. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like drows. So they weren't appealing to me. I banged Mizora, which was kind of it was more of
What?
I hate fucked Mizora in my mind.
Uh,
I,
I
I did it for
no,
shits and
no, no.
giggles. And I did it because I wanted the dialogue from Asterion where he says, well, they can have the snack or they can have like a piece, but I get the whole feast. And because he doesn't care if you sleep with others for the most part. So I wanted that line, so I banged Mizora. And then I quickly loaded back because then Will gets all pissy and I wanted to complete Will's storyline. But I wanted to
Well,
see what it was
yeah,
like to bang Mizora, and it was very mid. Very mid.
understandably pissy. I
Well,
guess because
yeah, I
you
mean, I
hate
got it, but I
Zora.
had to do it. I had to do it. If someone was like sleep with me, I was like, sure, all right.
And it was mid.
And it was mid. You have she like does her whole I will blah 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 and imagine this, and then like she's naked and you're naked floating in some like ethereal like realm thing, and then you have sex and then you wake up and she's like okay, and she goes back to her bitchy ways, and I was like
And she's naked and you're naked.
I'm just like yeah whatever. um and then I banged okay, we'll talk about that whole section later, but um I didn't romance didn't go further with anybody else. I mean, I just made sure I was staying true to Asterion. But yeah, when you find, you go help the emperor. I think that's the scene where you bang him. I don't know. And then you enter like the town where you find more tiefling refugees, and then uh there's
There's a
people are looking.
circus.
Yeah, there's a circus, and then there's people looking for like people see Shadowheart, and they're like, "Oh," and you know that they're part of Shar's whatever fucking cult.
I couldn't finish Shadowheart's quest line. I don't know what happened, what I did wrong. I found like one guy that was a part of her quest line, and then I don't know what happened to him.
You didn't find the house where you go.
I didn't.
It's like
I don't
right
know where I
next
was
to the
supposed to go.
Baldur's Gate.
Oh, well, I fucked up with that. That's one thing to correct next time.
Yeah, so the you find this like it's like the house of silence. I don't fucking remember the name of it, but you go to the house and you find out. I don't know if you want me to spoil it for you,
Oh, you
but
can spoil it.
so I'll just talk about Shadowheart's quest line for me is um I had her not kill Night Song, and then we got to Act 3, and I find the guy, and he's talking shit about Shadowheart. And so we get into Baldur's Gate. It's before because you still have to go to through Worms Crossing to get to Baldur's Gate. And you go to this, I forgot the name of it. It's like the House of something, or something like that. But basically, it's where that's like a base of Shar's like cult in Baldur's Gate, where
Mm-hmm.
they do initiates and they train. And you go there, and they're like talking shit about how she's lost her faith, but you find out that her parents are there. Her parents
Oh,
are still
shit.
alive, and her parents are there. And so you go in, and Shadowheart's like, this is where they brainwashed me, this is where they trained me, this is where they taught me to blah blah blah. And she's like recollecting, and it's kind of sad, even though I don't like Shadowheart. Yes, Tabby's community, I don't like fucking Shadowheart, and it's not going to change ever.
I'm
um
not the biggest Shadowheart
I
fan.
don't think
I
she's trash, but I'm not gung-ho about her. I just like, she's there, she's my cleric, she does what she needs to do, and she could piss right off. Like, that's Shadowheart for me. I don't have any. I mean, I will say, when you finish Shadowheart's quest, so like you go in, you fight like she's basically like the brood mother. She's like the next in command, and she's the one who trains and takes all the initiates. And like Shadowhearts finds out that she wasn't attacked by wolves. It was like an illusion that
mm-hmm.
the Shar people put into her, that she was attacked by wolves. But basically, they kidnapped her parents to take her in to their fucking, I'm gonna call it a cult.
Yeah, that much I knew. Go on.
Yeah, and so you go in and you fight I'm gonna just call her like the fucking brood mother. Thanks Helldivers for ruining me. And you fight like, it's a pretty difficult fight, and you fight like all these followers and disbelieve. They're like, "Oh fuck you, Shadowheart, you disbeliever and you traitor." And so you go at the end, and Shar's like, well, you can only have him back, but this is a trade-off. And so you have two choices, from my standpoint. You can either way, you save them, but there's a sacrifice. So if you save them and they like come with you, Shar has that like curse thing placed on you.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to maintain that, so you'll have that pain for the rest of your life. And your parents are like, don't do it, it's not worth it, let us go, we love you, we're so proud of you, we're happy to see you again. The mother's kind of like a pussy, like she pissed me off. The dad was the more rational one, because he was like, it wasn't your fault, this is what we ate. And the mother was like, well, maybe if she does this and we can. And I'm like, shut up, mom, you shut your dirty fucking whore mouth, you fucking weak ass bitch, shut the fuck up. She was the reason why I picked the
Damn.
other option, which is, the other option is you let them die and you set them free from the torment. You get Shar's whatever fucking thing off of you. You're just rid of Shar. Shar's just like, fucks off. But you lose your parents. And so I picked that option because I just was like, Shar needs to just be gone forever. She needs to just not exist in my life, and like Char's like trying to torment you or whatever. And I said, I love you, mom and dad. Mom, you're kind of dumb, but I love you. Set you free. And then, Shadowheart's just completely, like, she has Char completely removed off of her, essentially. Not all the, she still has all the trauma. But I just was like, I don't want Char near or in or any part of my party. She's a cunt. She's a shitty goddess, and I hate her.
Yeah,
So
I don't know why anyone would want to worship her.
I don't get the appeal, but again, I mean, if I lived in the world, like, say if I was, like, reincarnated in the world and I had no knowledge of what these things did, I mean, but still, I would hope people wouldn't be so weak and succumb to shit like that. Like, Gale fell from Mistress bullshit, but here we are. People are weak to power and money, so. But
I
yeah,
mean, when you see Mistra, she's kind of hot.
I don't know what she looks like because I'll tell you. We'll talk about Gail's thing, but yeah. So that's basically Shadowheart's storyline that I experienced. I thought it was actually pretty good. Compared
Sounds
to,
traumatizing.
it's very sad. It's very traumatizing, but I think I preferred it over Will's, which Will's fucking storyline was stupid as fuck. Like, no offense to all the Will lovers, but he's very mid. He's very bland to me in comparison to Karlach, Shadowheart, Asterion. I don't know Gale, so I can't make a judgment there, but I felt, and I did most of, like, so I let Lizelle live in my first playthrough, and I did most of her storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Which even hers was more compelling than Will's, in my opinion. Yeah.
I liked Lizelle's a
What
lot.
which way did you go with Lizelle though?
Well, uh she went against um
Vlaakith?
her yeah, Vlaakith, and she wants to resurrect Orpheus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. And the Emperor's like, nah, you're not gonna do that. How could you do this to me?
I
So,
thought was so for Lizelle, I thought about doing releasing Orpheus, but then my hatred for Githyanki overwhelmed me, so I convinced Lizelle to be like, nah, we're not. Because she was like, she went from one extreme where she's like, Vlaakith is life and blood and my goddess. And then when she heard about Orpheus, she's like, I will serve Orpheus death. I'm like, can you just have middle ground, bitch? Like, why do you go from one extreme to the other? Can you just sit and fucking chill? And
you
so,
can't.
yeah, so with Lizelle, so that's gonna lead us into kind of like the Raphael stuff. Because he's a
Yes.
big part of Orpheus. And so, like I said, I sided with the Guardian, so I didn't release Orpheus. Which, I mean, he could have, in theory, he would save the Githyanki from Vlaakith because she's a fucking cunt. And, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I
He
was,
doesn't seem nice.
no, he's a dick to you. I actually watched someone do that side where they release Orpheus and he's a dick to you. But the thing is they aid you in the final fight against the Absolute. Which, I mean, I still had them help me. I lied to the guy who was betraying Vlaakith that you meet in Act 2.
Oh,
And
really?
I lied to him and said, yeah, he's this and he's dead. Yeah, something like whatever the lie was, and I got away with it because my persuasion and shit was so high. But they end up aiding me in the fight, anyways. I don't think I used them though, because I mean, I don't. Yeah, I did use them. But I went that way with Lizelle, and Lizelle at the end of the game was like, "I'm leaving, goodbye," and I was like, "See you."
It's so
That
sad
was
when they
hers.
just leave you after so many hours in game. Like, it's nothing.
I was
Like,
okay with
this,
it,
how could,
at
did I
least for
just mean
her.
nothing to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, like, I mean, that experience must have been hard, and they just want to get on with their lives because that's a huge chunk.
Yeah, but We're family. We're family now.
But yeah,
We
that
are.
that was Lae'zel's quest line for me. But
Yeah.
the big part of Lae'zel's and a big part of your character's thing in Act 3 is the deal with Raphael, and the
Mm-hmm.
biggest part of Act 3 is the House of Hope.
Yes.
Such
Oh, it was so hard.
so good. So good though. It was difficult. I know you were stuck on it for a while. It took me a handful of tries, but luckily what I didn't know about the House of Hope until I did most of Baldur's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Karlach. Like, I did House of Hope after I did Asterion's quest. So basically, Karlach and Asterion were basically maxed out, and my character were basically maxed out before I went to the House of Hope. So that fight wasn't too bad, but it was gnarly as fuck. But oh my god. So, House of Hope, I went and like Raphael was like, and then someone was like, you should go see it, and then the Guardian's like, don't you fucking go because I know you're going for the hammer, and I was like, well, I want the
Yeah.
hammer, but not for Orpheus. I want the hammer for myself because I ended up giving it to Karlach, for a little bit. No, I gave the hammer to, uh, no, yeah, Karlach got the hammer for a little bit, but the House of Hope, the probably the most steamiest sex scene is in the House of Hope.
It's hot.
It's I so you go in
I
there,
fuck Raphael.
you meet his incubus, who you can either have like Raphael. You learn that Raphael likes fucking an image of himself because he's weird and
It's
narcissistic.
so apt for him.
Yeah, and then or you can fuck the female version. I did Raphael's male version, so.
Same.
But that sex scene, I was just like, whoa.
Mm.
Hoo-hoo, nice.
Emperor's was still like hitting harder for me,
The
honestly.
Emperor's just made me feel weird because he's like touching the tentacles, and I'm like,
Tentacles,
I
though.
don't mind. I mean, tentacle porn is it's cool and all, but I just like the sex scene with Raphael, like the incubus, because like how he's talking to you and like you're sweating and you're all hot and he's like riding you, and I was just like, yes, this is what I needed, and I loved it. Um, Great sex scene, and then I stole everything. Did you save Hope or did she die?
I got to save her, and I was so, after so many tries, like, even on all of my tries, through all of my game overs where I had to restart, Hope never died for me.
Oh damn, she
And
died
I
right
got
away
to,
from me.
she was a good asset for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they weren't really targeting her. They were more targeting me. So I got to kill everybody and save Hope, and it was a happy ending for Hope. So I'm glad.
Hope died for me. Um, I kind of found her annoying, anyways. Like I understand she was like traumatized and all that, and like the situation that she's in, but I was just so annoyed with her. I was like, just shut the fuck up. You're talking too much. Just shut the fuck up. I am so focused right now. You're talking. I don't like you. And Asterion's like, and I was like, same, Asterion. And so we got into the fight when you fight Raphael, which the music is a fucking banger.
It is so good.
So
You need
good.
to go look up Raphael's
It's on
soundtrack. Or
Spotify.
it is, and it's on YouTube too.
Yeah.
So
Fight music, it's just a great fight. And I won to have the big devil that you fought in Act 2 to be on my side to fight against Raphael. I
mm-hmm.
persuaded him to fight with me, so which
I
helped with
got
the
him
fight a
too.
lot. Helped a lot because I wouldn't imagine fighting him and Raphael at the same time. Because
I don't know.
he took on the ads, like the other devils or whatever that were fighting. He took on a lot of their
Mhm.
aggro, and he fucking walloped them pretty good. Hope I used for secondary healing next to Shadowheart. And so she kind of died towards the end because I managed to kill all the ads, but like Raphael was just like, bye bitch, and she like died, and I was like, oh, That
Yeah,
sucks. Anyways,
Astarion and Karlach were my MVPs.
Karlach was
In that
mine.
fight.
Yeah.
Like he destroyed all of the
Hmm.
pillars, and so did Astarion, because I got a subclass of a monk on
Oh,
Astarion, so he
yeah.
was like boom, 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 all the towers too,
Nice.
uh, and then yeah, I got that guy from Act Two on my side, which he didn't really do much for me.
I
I
mean, he
feel
was just
like
my meat shield. He just took on
right,
aggro
yeah,
for me.
he was
That was
just
fine.
another target for all the other bad guys.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad I finally got that done.
It was worth it though. I don't know.
It is.
Never skip the House of Hope. Like even if you don't want to progress Raphael's story or whatever, like the House of Hope is such a huge part of the game and a huge part of Act 3. It's phenomenal. Yeah, I Karlach destroyed the pillars for me. Asterion helped me fight Raphael while Hope healed and Shadowheart kind of like was healing and taking on some aggro, and then the other guy, his name's I can't remember. I can never pronounce his name right, but he took on a lot of aggro. He lived as well. Um, but yeah, phenomenal fight. I kept the hammer and gave it to Karlach. Although I actually gave Karlach a different weapon that she used in game that's I felt was a little bit better than the hammer. But
Hmm.
um yeah, great part of Act 3 was Raphael's thing, and the Emperor was like super pissed at me, and I'm like
He was.
he was super pissed at me, and I was like, I'm not using the hammer to save Orpheus. I just wanted the hammer for my own fucking treasury. So chill the fuck out. Go smoke some weed or something and just leave me alone.
He got on my nerves so much. Like I wanted to do everything he didn't want me to do, and it's like more like a really annoying parent
Yeah.
rather than like a lover or a companion.
Yeah, I felt like he was just so blindsided by the objective that he didn't realize that there's multiple avenues you could like and still achieve the avenue, and
Just lost
it
his
made
humanity.
it just made me feel like he didn't trust me even though I banked him and I did all these things for him, cuz
Right?
like I did all these things for him and he was still like, and I was just like, he asked me, I think after you romance him or something, he asked you like become a mind flayer with me and Bo forever, and I was just like, no.
No, thanks. I don't really want to be a mind player.
No. I'm in
Not
love
on
with
my to-do list.
Asterion. I like my own flesh. I don't want tentacles and I don't want to eat people brains. We're Gucci.
Or
We are Gucci, brother. Yeah, I love the House of Hope. I loved Raphael. I know we talked about it a lot in Act 1, but I loved him. But I wasn't gonna take his deal because he's a fucking scummy devil. So
yeah, no, I would never want to end the game with his route where he wins.
mm-hmm.
Like I just wanted to hate fuck him, and I kind of got to do that
Mm-hmm.
in a roundabout way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was satisfied, and I got to save Hope. Like, cuz Hope's sister and Raphael are just awful.
Yeah, I killed his sister, her sister. And then isn't she the girl that's in the house where you have to buy the shit for to do the ritual? What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I killed her.
Mm-hmm. Good
And I
riddance.
took all my shit back from her. Fuck that bitch. Yeah. But yeah, so those are the storylines, but I think the last storyline that I did was Karlach was the last one because I did everyone else because I know that Karlax was with Gortash, so I wanted to save hers for last. So the next storyline that I did was Will's, which
Mm-hmm.
again, fucking boring. Will's, I went to the foundry and I destroyed the foundry of those big ass robot
The Still
arm.
Watch.
Yeah, the Still Watch. I killed them because I promised Gortash, sure, I'll kill Orin for you. And then Orin's like, kill Gortash. And I was like, sure, yeah, I'll fucking play you both because you're both gonna die anyways. And so I destroyed the Still Watch, and then Gortash was like, how dare you betray my blah blah blah. I thought we made a fucking pact, and I was like, suck these nuts, brother. And I realized you have to. That's Will's father is being held by Gortash because you go to
Yeah.
Gortash's like throating ceremony, and I was like, ugh, you ugly fucking. He looks like a dirty rat to me.
He's supposed to be like the story plays him off as like a super sexy
Mm-hmm.
character.
He's not
And
sexy. He looks like a fucking rat, like a dirty rat pedophile in a D&D world. That's what he looks like to me.
he looks so just not what is the word? Like very unbecoming. I don't know. I can't think of the word I want to use. But
He's just there's no
dirty
sex appeal to that.
there isn't.
No, he
Like
looks the
he
dirty old man.
yeah. I don't understand. I don't think anyone I haven't met one person that thinks Gortash is sexy.
I mean, I wanted his outfit because it looks good on a Asterion, so yeah.
His hair looks like it's from a Square Enix game.
Yes, it does. I actually, in my third or fourth playthrough, I modded the game to make Gortash sexy. I was like, this is better.
What? I need to look up sexy Gortash. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
there you can make Gortash look hot, and so I did that because I just got tired of
Oh
looking
my
at
god.
Gortash.
Oh my god. And his face, yeah. Oh my god. I see it. Oh my god. They really do a number on making him sexier. They had to do a
See?
lot to make him
They
sexier.
did have to do a lot, but it works. It works.
It does.
Because, like I
Yeah, he
said,
just
yeah, it's like they made Gortash seem like this. I mean, I'm not saying he's not cunning, but the way they made him sound, I was like, all right, he's hot and steamy, man, is dreamy. And then you see him, and you're just like, I threw up a little bit in my mouth and I want to go take a shower. Like that's how I felt when you see Gortash at the end of Act 2. I was like, what? No.
like his I don't know, his face is very puffy and it's not like stereotypically chiseled. He
He
has like
looks,
eye bags. He looks gaunt, but
yes.
somehow he has a puffy face. He's
He,
like someone that is on drugs
yeah,
and woke up from a
he
hangover.
looks like a drug user from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Because he's got the Final Fantasy hair, and he just looks like, if like Cloud dyed his hair black and did drugs and just ate a lot and did not take care of himself. That's
He does not take care of himself.
He looks rough, dude. He looks jagged as fuck. And I was just not about it, so I modded him to look hot as fuck. And it worked. I mean, I still killed him, but at least he was good to look at when I modded it.
Yeah, just put his outfit on another character in your
Yeah.
party
At
and
first I was gonna give it to Gale, but then I just Gale,
it's
like I said,
more of an Astarion outfit
it looks good on Asterion. It looked so
with
good
that
on
deep
Asterion.
neckline.
Oh god, Asterion looks so fucking dreamy in it. He looks so good. Until I got the
It's
mods for sexy outfits, and then I changed fucking Asterion to run around in
yes.
sexy outfits that I showed you. But yeah, you go to Gartash's like ceremony of him being like announced as whatever the fuck because he took over Will's father's position. And so I killed the Still Watcher's Foundry, and then you have to go to the prison, so you have to find the submarine, which is part of the like mermaid women quest. Did you do that one?
So for me, I killed the guy that was right above the submersible. And then I went in the submersible, and Gortash was like, if you go down there, I'll destroy everyone in that base. And so I was like, okay, I'll go back because I hadn't like finished him yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, I went to the where the mermaids and their goddess are, and I they were like, "Oh, one of our daughters has died from this like machine that bleeds black blood." And like I love their outfits too, and their face makeup
Mm-hmm.
is impeccable. They're
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous.
You're gonna
But
hate me.
oh no. But I was like, "Oh, I already beat that guy." So I had really no clue what their quest was because I had
Oh.
already killed the guy before the quest started.
Yeah, so I ran into them first because I wanted that outfit because I saw it on Twitter. And I saw that that's where
Hmm.
you go, and they're like, "Oh yeah, daughter's dead. We have to get revenge on the fucking sea monster that bleeds black blood, blah blah." And so I went to the submarine, and I actually saved the guy, the little
Oh.
I went it down and I saved Will's father. I saved everyone that was down there. There's a
Mm-hmm.
mind flayer that you met in the After Dark or the Underdark in Act 1. He gets
Mm-hmm.
trapped there and I saved him. Um, because he gives you some really nice loot.
I'm still mine. I don't
And
think the
so,
mind flayer was there for me. I don't know.
yeah, he was. If you didn't interact with him a lot in the Underdark, because he's next to the guy who is next to the spore people, who
Oh, that one. Okay.
yeah, because he has like a manor and he tells you like, here's my key, go get whatever the fuck you want. And I was like, cool, thank you for the fucking treasure. So I went to I saved Will's father and everyone in the prison, and the prison blows up because Gartash is like, I'm gonna destroy it, and I'm like, okay, well, have fun. And I tell the guy, like, you need to, the guy that the mermaids want you to kill, or like, they basically meet me after you know, get out of the water with the submarine, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
we want his head. And I'm like, listen, ladies, it was a misunderstanding. Y'all fucking crossed paths when you weren't supposed to. Chill the fuck out. And they're like, no. So I end up killing them all.
What?
I killed.
Oh
Well,
my
I
god.
couldn't. So I let them live because I thought, okay, if I let them live, they'll give me the fucking dress so I can put it on Asterion.
That's
And then
hysterical.
I didn't get it, so I was like, well, I guess you just have to die. So I killed him and I got the dress.
Oh, you have chosen death.
I was just like, well, I want this cute dress, so you just have to die to give me your outfit. So I killed them all, and then you actually end up getting the trident that the main lady has, and it's a really good weapon
Oh.
for that I gave Karlach, which Karlach used to fight in the House of Hope. It's a really good weapon. So I gave that to her, and then Will's questline, like, he finally like reconciles with his dad, and you have the option with Will to like he becomes the new Duke or he continues his life as what he is. And so I was like, nah. I kind of let Will choose what he wanted, and he ended up picking like not becoming the Duke. He's like, I don't want that. I'm the blade of the whatever, and
Blade of Frontiers.
I'm gonna just do my thing. Dad, you know how to do this. I'm a fighter, not like, I don't want to run Baldur's Gate or whatever. So I did that. I finished Will's questline, and then I tried to do um Gale's. Like, I go to the temple that's like right in after Worm's Crossing, where you
Mm-hmm.
go talk to Mistra, and she's like, you must blow up and give me the crown from the Absolute. I'm all, bitch, no one's getting this crown. No one's getting this crown. I'm gonna take that crown and I'm gonna smash it into pieces because y'all fucking crazy. Y'all just don't understand that you don't need to repeat history. You're all blinded by power. I'm gonna destroy all your guys' power so y'all can just smoke, like, just fucking chill. And so after, like, I met Mistra, and Gale was like, oh, I have to do this. I was like, you know what, Gale, you're being put back in camp and you're never coming back out, because I'm not going to allow you to destroy everything I've worked so hard for. So that was my Gale
You
quest.
put him in timeout.
He got put in a fucking corner. What about you?
Aw.
What did you do for Gale?
So, like, I just didn't let Gale do. Basically, I did the same thing you did. I didn't let Gale do anything after talking to Mistra.
Mm-hmm.
But he did not become a god. He just is regular Gale. I did not let him give her the crown of Karsus.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Good.
because I was like, no, Gale, you can't be Mistra's whipping boy.
Stop
Like,
sucking her fucking taint, dude. Like, it's like
yeah.
you're sucked. She's using you and you're so blinded by it. Stop being her fucking tool and just let your balls be free. Stop.
He is very much a mistress sim.
Yeah, stop fucking letting her have a gorilla grip on your nutsack, dude. Just be free. Let them breathe. Let them hang and just flow with your robes. Just.
Do you want to go back to your tower?
Yeah, do you want to go back to
Like
your
Rapunzel.
right? Do you want to go back there? Do you want to? Do you really? Yeah, that's as far as I got with Will or Gale. I just was like, no, no, no. No. But I want to go back to, we'll talk about Asterions and Karlach's quest, but I want to go back to the circus, which was such a fun quest. Did you do that one?
It's so there's a lot.
It's huge. I didn't
So
think it would be such a huge piece.
And when you go to the matchmaker fortune teller lady,
Mm-hmm.
and I went with Carlac, and we were like, "What is our future gonna be like?" And then it's Orin, and you're
I
like, "Oh
know,
shit, what the fuck?"
right?
I was like, "Wait, what's happening?"
Right? I went with Asterion and I was like, tell us our love story, bitch. And then it was Orin. I was like, she actually, I loved that they introduced Orin a little bit more throughout because she's basically hunting you and you don't know where the fuck she is or who she could
Yes,
be.
I love that about her character.
Hmm.
Very good.
I liked her character a lot, but very disappointed with the fights that you have with Gortash and Orin, which we'll talk about later. But
Mhm.
yeah, I love the circus. What was her name? The lady, the owner or the master of the circus, or their name?
I
Sorry,
don't
excuse me.
I don't remember their name.
But I loved that character, and I loved having to go find the body parts for her, for their, uh, one of their like the most important. It was the clown. It was the clown.
Dribbles the clown.
Dribbles the clown. You had to go find the
Lucre-
bottle parts.
Lucretius is the romantic name.
Lucretius.
Lucretius, yes, that is
Lucretius.
a better pronunciation.
Yeah, I loved Lucretius. Such a great character.
The whole thing going up on stage,
Mm.
and it's so lovely. It's a lovely little scene.
Yeah, I loved it so much. I love that whole like scavenger hunt for body parts because it ties into
Did
Orin's
you?
story a lot.
Yeah. Did you get the whole side quest?
Mhm.
Did you get all of his body parts?
Mhm.
I could not find them all.
I had to look up a couple because there were some I couldn't find, but I so it ties into that stupid uh uh Macedon, fly Macedon's like murder case.
Mhm.
Because when you go investigate the murders, you find like hidden rooms where you find body parts. And then that's how I found most of them. I think I was just missing one and it was because it was located in Orin's kind of like area. So I had to
Mhm.
find it. I think it was like a arm or the head actually. But yeah, I also that whole like crime investigation quest, I did that as well. Be just like I said, it ties in with the orange shit. But I enjoyed it. I hated that Macedon, that fucking flying elephant piece of shit.
When
Valerie or Valera or something like that.
Yeah. When I was going from location to location on the map trying to help the victims of this serial killer
Mm-hmm.
and then finding body parts usually,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked in my journal, I was like, I think I went to all these people to warn them or try to stop a killer from attacking them,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, or finding them dead already. And then I go into my journal and in the dribbles quest, and it's like, you've got half the body parts. And I'm like, fuck me. I'm not gonna, fuck this. I'm not doing this
It's a
anymore.
long one because you actually have to do a lot of you have to start other quests to get access to those parts.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal. The one thing that I didn't do in my first playthrough that I encountered in my third is because I didn't use Chihara a lot. I used her what I had to do in Act 2, but I never brought her out much.
You
Is
didn't even bring her out for a certain part?
I did for that part, but
Okay.
I didn't know about the layer where there's like the
The
thief
guild hall?
guilds. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
about that in my first playthrough. Because I didn't have Chihara with me. Actually, my first playthrough, I didn't find the certain someone that we're going to talk about in a second. I don't think I don't know. I didn't find them in my first playthrough. I found them in my second. Because I didn't really like Chihara. Like I liked her as a character, but she wasn't useful in my party because my party was just so fucking OP by that point that And so I focused more on the main character's storyline. I also did Dame. I finished Dame Aelin, so where you go to the wizard store and you fight the wizard that sent out the hunting party that Halsin joined in Act One. And I focused on um finishing Dame Aelin's. That was like the one side character that I finished.
Hmm.
Their side quest. But yeah, I didn't use Jahara because Jahara actually, I like I said in my first playthrough, I didn't find mints because I didn't have
Yeah.
Jahara with me.
Oh, so you need, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you do need Chihira because she's the one that's like, hey, let's go find Minsk for
Yeah.
the final battle. And I was like, yeah, I want to see who this guy is because I've heard so much about him
Mhm.
from people watching my playthrough and
Mhm.
his miniature giant space hamster. And I, oh my God, when you can I talk about it now?
Yeah, go. You full send him like I said, my first playthrough, I didn't know he existed, so I found him in my second.
So I put Jahira in my party, even though I didn't think she was just for me, she didn't work for my party very much. She didn't
Mhm.
do a lot of damage for me, but I didn't really try to draw out her powers a lot. I focused
Mhm.
on other characters, but put her in my party. We went to the largest bank in Baldur's Gate,
Oh
and
yeah.
so Minsk is there because he's basically being controlled by the Absolute and the Absolute cultists. And when you go to the bank, Minsk is trying to take money, trying to steal money because an Absolute cultist is wearing Chihira's face and
Mhm.
impersonating her, and he's just following her, and he's been brainwashed by them,
Mhm.
and believing that you're the bad guy and Chihira is the fake Chihira in your party.
Mhm.
And so, oh my God, the intro scene for him, I was like, oh, I'm wet. Uh, so I I knew what he looked and sounded like, but that intro where he just makes an entrance, man, because when you go down to the vaults down in the basement of the bank, so the leader, the head of the entire bank is like, he has a mimic chest with him, and
Mhm.
he's talking to his inferiors. He's like, this guy's not going to give us any more problems because he literally fed Minsk to a mimic chest. And when the mimic starts moving and crash, a hand just bursts through the chest, and Minsk is in there ripping the mimic off of him, and then he throws the mimic across the room, and he says, "There's no gold in there." And I was like, I am wet, sir. Oh my God, that it was so hot.
Really?
And yes, and just I was like, okay, I really like you.
Can you romance him?
No, I don't think you can. It's so late in the game. Minsk, Baldur's
Because
Gate
when
4.
I remember meeting him in the,
Romance?
I did the vault, but I didn't go further with Mince's thing because it didn't cross my mind. But I liked his accent, but I thought he was pretty funny, but at that point I wanted to finish the other story. I just wanted to finish the story that I told myself, okay, well, we'll figure it
I
out
really
later.
wanted to meet him. I just made time for
I like I said, I didn't know much about him in my first playthrough because I did it like I said, I didn't stream it. So for me, he was like just didn't exist other than that interaction at the bank.
but no, you can't romance him, unfortunately. So
Ah.
sad. But after you have to go to their hideout,
Mhm.
which kind of ties into Orin a bit. But so you beat the people. You have to beat the cultists that are controlling Minsk, and you have to not kill Minsk
Mhm.
while he is attacking you,
Mhm.
which it took me like 5 tries not to kill him.
Oh, wow.
And then he basically, oh my God, this pissed me off about the Emperor again, is that Jahira's like, please don't hurt him. And then once you save him, he's still mind controlled.
Hmm.
And Jahira's like, please help him. Please get him unbrainwashed because you're gonna use uh because he has a tadpole in him too.
Hmm.
So you try to get the Emperor to unbrainwash Minsk, and the Emperor's like, I'm not going to use my resources to help this one man. And it's like, dude, he's our friend. He'd be our friend, and he's like, he can be an asset in the final fight. He's like over 100 years old, and he's a major hero in D&D.
Hmm.
Like, what makes you think I wouldn't want him on my team? I don't
Hmm.
get why you wouldn't want one other person in our final fight.
Yeah, it's an extra
And
body, bro. Come on.
yeah, I'm sorry if you hear Twist. He is crying
Aw.
around me. He wants to be let out, but my roommate's cooking. Um, but I was really pissed at him. I was so mad. Like this, like there's nothing, no negatives about this. Like, dude, come on. So I forced the Emperor. It took a lot of convincing
Yeah,
too
I
for
remember my
the
second playthrough,
Emperor
yeah.
to help him.
Hmm.
And that really made me mad. I'm like, Emperor, I don't like you anymore.
You're
And
like, you know
Minsk,
what? My last straw with you is just gone. Fuck you.
yes, it was the final straw. And as soon as Minsk is unbrainwashed, he introduces himself and talks about Boo. And he's like, where's Boo? And I was like, when I knew about Boo beforehand, but I was like, when he was ripping himself out of that chest, I was like, what happened to Boo? Like, where is he? So the
Aw.
whole time Boo was just like somewhere else because I think the cultist locked him away or something.
Yeah.
And it took me forever to like even realize where Minsk was trying to get Boo from.
Hmm.
Um, but like, how can you say no to a muscly, a sexy, muscly man and his pet? Like, how can you say no to
The
that? It's
space
just
hamster.
the space hamster. It's just the sexiest thing when a guy has an animal companion for me. And he's a himbo, he is a himbo.
There's nothing wrong
He
with that. I thought he was, when I interacted with him in the second playthrough, I was like, how did I fuck this up my first playthrough? Oh my god, he's just such a character. But yeah,
he
I
doesn't have a lot working upstairs, but I'm like that you got some stupid in there. I like that in a man. And I just love him and Boo. I think they're precious. I'm like new character to drool over. And
I
Matthew Mercer did such a good job with
He
his voice.
did. I didn't
I
even
love
know
the
it was Matthew
accent.
Mercer. I didn't even know it was Matthew Mercer, and I looked it up, and I was like, no fucking shot. No shot. Oh my god. Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Yeah, that I'm kind of sad I didn't get that in my first playthrough, but like I said, I was so tired because I put so much into the others, and so yeah, he's a great character. I love the banter that he has with Jahara. Jahara's just like,
Yeah.
ugh.
I know, I love their relationship where she's like his babysitter and
Basically,
he's
yeah.
just like simple-minded guy, pretty literally sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. And
uh
so, yeah, he's such. I'm sad. I'm glad now. Like the playthroughs I had after, I make sure to find him because I want to. I heard he's really good in your party, so I want to learn, like, try to fit him in.
yeah, I tried to use him for some parts, but I just liked my established like me, Karlak, Shadowheart, and Astarion or Gale team.
Yeah, I used Asterion, Karlak, and Shadowheart. Basically, I would switch out sometimes with Hausen and Will from time to time, but other than that, I kept. I just they were so OP, and we just blasted through everything. Which leads to Stereon's quest is the one that I did after Dame Aelin and that, and I absolutely loved Asterion side quest. It's my favorite next to Karlax. Because of the depth that was in it. Oh,
So I didn't do a Starian side quest
why not?
because I want to do it for my Dark Urge playthrough where I
Understandable.
romance him.
Yeah, I
So
do you want me to spoil it for you?
yeah, go right ahead.
So, um we go to Cazador's like lair, and you go in the house, and he's like recounting all the torture and the torment that he went through. And he's Neil, how Neil portrayed him is just so fucking perfect. You feel, like I said, the torment, you feel the pain that Asterion's recounting as we're going through the lair, because he hasn't been there in so long. And so you go downstairs, and I don't know if you did the hag in the quest in the first one where
I
you meet the
did.
hunters. So you go down there and you meet the hunters, and you find, they're like, where's our kids, because Asterion took their kids or whatever. And you meet all these prisoners that Asterion like seduced and brought to Cazador. And this is before Asterion knew that Cazador was like farming souls to become, the ultimate vampire essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, they're like all mad at Asterion, and Asterion's really sad about it because he's like, I used them like Cazador used me. And so we have the fight with Cazador. Cazador's like talking shit to Asterion, and he actually imprisons Asterion. So I had to fight Cazador with the first part of the fight with 3 people. But I was fortunate enough that I learned the power of cheese in Baldur's Gate. And so Cazador likes to teleport at the edge of the map, and you fight in the center platform, and there's just a void after. So his dumbass fucking goes to the side, and like I said, Asterion's being held in the ritual, so he can't use him. And so I bum rushed fucking Karlach next to Cazador and just yeeted him off the edge of the platform. So
Nice.
that was the first phase. That ended in like three minutes, right? And so you release, Asterion gets released along with the other people that are being held captive. And so he joins the fight. So you fight. Cazador doesn't die that fight. He basically goes back. He's wounded, but he goes back into his like coffin to like regenerate or whatever. But you fight all
Mm-hmm.
these ads, so you kill all the people or things, and then Asterion's just like this emotional state, like, you fucking, like, he pulls Cazador out of the coffin, and he's holding this like dagger knife, and he's just going off on Cazador. You fucking ruined my life. You tortured me. And it's such an emotional scene that I actually kind of cried. And you have the option where either Asterion finishes the ritual and becomes the like all ultimate vampire, or you just kill Cazador. And so I picked the happy ending for Asterion in my eyes, and I told Asterion, like, you want to be free. Don't finish the ritual. Kill Cazador and just be free of this misery. Because that's what I did with all my characters. Like, everyone was like, you can have this ultimate power if you do this thing for me. And I was just like, you talked about the torment and everything that happened to you, and you want retribution and redemption, then choose the better path. And so it took again, my persuasion and stuff was really high. So I convinced Asterion, don't finish, set these people free. Don't finish this. So he stabs Cazador to death in a very vicious style, like when Nifty killed Adam in Hazbin Hotel.
Stab, stab, stab.
Stab, stab,
Okay.
stab, stab. And he's just like, ah, ah, like, it's such a good performance. Amazing performance, Neil. And so he's like, after he kills Cazador, he's just like, I'm free. And he's crying, and it's so emotional. And so then you have another option where, what do we do with all, like, there's like 2,000 people that Cazador's been like harvesting, like keeping.
Oh shit.
And so you can either kill them or you send them into the Underdark. And so I chose to release them. I'm like, hey, these people never got a chance to finish their lives. You know, we tell them like, you guys
But
have a
are they
chance.
vampires?
They're vampires in a sense, but we said go to the after dark, find jobs. If you guys fuck up, like, you basically, you have the choice to be better. You know the situation, you have the chance to live and be better. If you feed on people, then God forbid, but you send them to the after dark, and then you meet the hunters, the monster hunters, and they're like, where are my children? And we, you know, tell them the situation, like, hey, they're vampires, you send them to the after dark. You can go down there and kill them, or try to like give them some type of like, teach them civility, like teach them how they can live amongst the other races in Baldur's Gate. So that was the ending to Starion's questline, basically, where he's just like, thank you. I was just so blinded by rage and all this, and I cried. It was so good.
Oh, it seems like Astarion's quest is so big.
It is. It's huge. It's such a huge story, and it was beautiful how it ended for me. I made sure I wanted that ending. I want to do Ascended Astarion in my dirge. So I want to do
Really?
I want to do an ascended one, because you could still kind of have a happy ending with him as an ascended Asterion. I just wanted Asterion, like my first playthrough. I just wanted all the characters that I actually like to be free. Like I wanted them to just don't have a burden. They're not tormented by these choices, and they can finally just process and heal and move on. And that was my goal. Because it was a very, like, when I played Boulder Gate, it was like right after like a breakup, like friendship ended. So I was just like, I want to be free. So that was Astarion's. That's how I played Astarion's quest. Because that's my
I see.
boy. That's my man's.
I don't think I'll ever do Ascended Astarion.
I just want to
I
see,
don't
because
think
he gets
so.
special powers, and I just want to see what he fucking does. I want to see what he comes in a blasting, just fucking guns a blazing. But yeah, and then I put him in the beautiful mermaid outfit, and I was like,
Oh my god.
tasty baby, let's show me some thigh, daddy. Like,
Oh, with for Minsk, I put him in the camp. I put him in the sexy lingerie, and I was like,
yes, yeah, oh, it was great. But yeah, so that's everyone's missions, and then, like I said, Karlak. So I fought Gortash last. So then I went hunting for Orin, because then she kidnapped someone from your camp, and like,
yes.
so for
Who did she
me,
kidnap?
she took Lizelle, which I didn't give a shit about.
She did to me too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I have Lizelle, and I was like, oh, well, this bitch can wait. I gotta go do other things.
Yeah, apparently she can steal what's her
Hausen.
name? Yeah, she can steal Halson or Yenna, the little girl, and her cat, Grub. And I was like, oh, thank God you didn't steal
Yeah.
Halson or the little girl. Like,
One
Lizelle is fine.
one playthrough, she took Hausen from me because I killed Lizelle at the
That
beginning.
bitch.
That made me panic. But no, she took Lizelle from me in my first playthrough, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that sucks. Well, so I'm going to say this. I'm very disappointed. After the Ketheric fight, I was very disappointed with the fights that you have with Gortash and Orin, because they're so lackluster. They're so boring, in my opinion. Because for
Yeah.
Orin, you have to go find the cult, then you meet like her kind of dad. And I chose to kill the dad right away. I didn't side with the cultists. I killed the dad, killed everybody. I basically murdered everyone in Orin's like group.
Same.
I was like, no, you guys are all terrible fucking people. You're all
Yeah.
gonna fucking die. Like, piss off. And so I killed everyone, and by the time I got to Orin, it literally took me 3 minutes to kill Orin. I just decimated her. Absolutely decimated her.
Like, I just saw no reason not to obliterate everyone.
I didn't, she's murdering people for fun. And I mean, she's psychotic and I love her. She's
Yeah.
batshit crazy, but like, there's no good in her. She's just crazy as fuck. She does not need to live, and no one in her cult needs to live because they're all fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I love her character,
Mhm.
and she's a baddie, and Maggie Robertson blew it out of the water
Oh,
with
hell
her.
yeah.
But I, yeah, I'm like, I don't need. you to be alive. There's no reason.
Right. But I was very disappointed with the fight with you because, like, Ketherick was just huge cinematic experience. And then
Hmm.
Orin, I was just like, have a few hits and then she was dead. And, like, at first I thought, okay, she's going to come back or some fucked up shit's going to happen. And then I just killed everybody and it's like, she's done. And I was like, and
Like,
that's,
I love her
what?
toying with you
Mm hmm.
and hunting you down
Mm hmm.
before you go to her
Mm hmm.
lair. But everything else was just meh when you once you get there.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, but that's it? Like, that's how I felt. I was like, that's it? Like, why make Ketherick such a big deal, but Orin and Gortash were, So I finished Orin's, and then that's when I finished Dribbles the Clown's quest because you get like his final pieces, and so at that point, it was time to finish basically towards the end of the game, and so got started working on Karlak's quest and went to Gortash and I was like, yeah, I killed Orin and but by that time he was already against me because I invaded the prison and killed the Still Watchers. So,
Mm-hmm.
but when I went back to Worm's Crossing, it's just everyone was aggro, so I just blasted everything. And again, the fight with Gortash, I just sat there, I disarmed all his traps. I blasted him a few times and then let Karlak have the finishing blow. And God, that scene that she has.
Oh, I
Oh, I
cried.
cried too. I sat
It's
there and I was just crying. I was like, I got you, girl. I got you.
it's no fair. It's no
Right?
fair for her.
No.
Like Astarion gets closure
Mm-hmm.
from Cazador's death, but Karlak doesn't.
No. She's still stuck with the infernal engine and she can't live up, she's just fucked. Like there's just nothing. She gets her revenge, but it's just bittersweet.
Yeah, my girl isn't revengey. She just wants to be better. She wants to be whole again and be happy.
Yeah, how did you go on with your fight with Gortash?
My Gortash was weird for me because I didn't really know I wanted to do. Like first thing, I found the submersible before going to the foundry,
Mm-hmm.
and because I did the artist, I went to the that mansion with his lover, and I went into their basement and
Wait,
found like
what?
yeah, there's a whole or maybe it was like oh yeah, so in so when you find the artist in Act 1, I think, who's being held by this part of the Thieves Guild being held hostage, and you let him or you buy his freedom, and he's like, I'm in love with this wealthy lady in Baldur's Gate and I need to go back to her. And so you go to her house and you can just easily go into her basement. And there's a hatch in her basement that goes down to the sewers. And through the sewers, you can get to the submersible.
I
And you don't
didn't
even
know
have to go in
that.
the foundry. Yeah, like the whole sewer system's like so crazy. I don't know how it's all mapped out, but it's so extensive. There's so many like secret passages and hatches and stuff underneath people's houses in the map. Um, yeah, so first I went into the submersible. Gortash said, "You go in there, then I'm going to destroy the place." So I go back because I was like, I haven't even gone to the foundry yet, so I don't know what I want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
then I realized that you could try to reason with Gortash again. Um, because it was a while before I had like a gap in time where
Mm-hmm.
I between Gortash's coronation and then I didn't play the game for a few months and then starting it back up again to finish Act 3, I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that you can like try to side with Gortash and supposedly like uh fight the final boss together." So I tried to go and see Gortash, and everyone in his coronation chamber was dead and
Mm-hmm.
blood everywhere. I was like, holy shit, what happened here? And his guard is like, if you go to the door on the right next to his throne, then you will go to Gortash. And if I had gone through the door, it looked to the guards like I was trespassing. Like I couldn't go through the doors without alerting all of the guards.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, what sense is it to fight everyone in his coronation chamber if I'm trying to make a deal with him?
Mm-hmm.
So then I went to the foundry because I was like, oh, fuck this. And oh my God, the foundry was even harder.
Dude, the
Foundry was so
foundry
hard.
was so gnarly because you have to break those purple crystals to save the gnome people. Like for
The
me,
Gondians,
yeah,
yeah.
I wanted to save them because I was doing the another side quest for the guy that you save in a prison in Act 2 when you're saving the tieflings because he's
Hmm.
a guy at the that you save in Act 1, the guy on the windmill. If you save him, he asks you to save a friend, and the friend is in the prison in Act 2.
Oh
And
gosh, I wouldn't know that.
yeah. So I was trying to save the people, and the fight in the foundry was so gnarly. It took me several tries, but I managed it after like 3 hours.
What did
uh,
what did you do?
I snuck around and I killed the still watch things on the outside, and I snuck in from the side. And then they actually end up helping, like the gnomes. I think they're the gnomes. They end up helping you fight. And I just used Karlach to destroy the crystals before they killed the gnomes. But it just took a lot of fucking just so much AoE attacks. So I would first I killed all the still watch fucking soldier things, and then I killed like the little guys that were controlling, like had the crystals. But it was just I just had to brute force it. There was no I couldn't find a way to cheese it. So I actually
Hmm.
had to legitimately fight, which was like fucking pain. It was so much pain.
It sucked. It's I don't know even know how I did it because the Steel Watch are weak to lightning.
And I didn't
Uh,
have any lightning. I fought them with the divine or blessed weapons and just blasted my way as much as I could. And it was rough. It was really rough. Like that fight was not the toughest. I think the hardest fight I ever did was it was between House of Hope and the fight with Shard, like the end of Shadow Heart's quest where you fight Shard's like
mhm.
brood mother. Like that fight just was cancer.
Um, so so for the did the gnomes help you out with the final boss in the foundry?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know they could do that.
No, they didn't. They left, and then the final boss with that fight was fucking balls, dude.
Yeah, it's so fucked.
Oh, it was
I was like,
so rough.
okay, I can take on four Steel Watch, and then the fifth one pops out of the ground. Like, fuck.
Yeah, that was gnarly. Like I said, I was glad that all my characters had really good gear and I maxed them out as much as I could because I don't think I would have been able. I had to stock up on potions and shit, and it was just such a gnarly fight. Oh my god. It was it was so when I finished that fight, I was like, Gortash, I am going to murder you. Not just for Karlach, but for my peace of mind because that was absolute hell. Fuck you, Gortash, you piece of shit. Ugh. Ugh. So
Oh my
we
god.
get to the end, and so once you beat Gortash, it's time to beat the big brain. But before
Literal
that,
brain.
you have to make some difficult choices, and so
Oh, I wanted to ask you about one quest,
mhm,
but
do it,
go ahead.
do it.
Uh, so what did you? What was your hag? What was the quests with the hag? Did you do?
So the
Like,
hag is in Act 1, and basically you go there because she's kidnapped some girl who was going to her who because the hag told the girl that I can revive your dead husband, and the girl's pregnant, and she goes there, and the hag like you can either you can either save the girl or not save her. So the hag, it's a pretty gnarly fight, but I did it at the end of I finished everything in Act 1, but that. So I went just because it reminded me of Witcher. And so basically you go and you fight the hag, and the girl, you save her, and she's like not very. She's like, I wanted to save my husband, and he's a fucking
Yeah.
zombie. He's a fucking zombie. It's not her husband anymore. Dude's dead. Can't bring back the dead the way you want them to. And for me, I killed the girl because she pissed me off because she's like not
Okay.
appreciative
Okay.
of me after saving her, and she's
You
just like
didn't appreciate me enough. You must die.
she was just like, how could you do that? I wanted to save my husband, and her husband's a zombie next to her. So I just fucking yeeted
Hmm.
her. I was just like, just die. You wasted my fucking time, you stupid bitch.
Did you do that every time?
Yep, I kill her every single time.
Oh my god.
Do not like her.
So, so there's a continuation in Act 3 of The
Oh.
Hag. You didn't know?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So I'll just tell you about
Mm-hmm.
because it was
Mm-hmm.
really interesting to me. Um, so there's a lady in Baldur's Gate that's like, my daughter Vanra went missing in the mermaid, um, this bar called
You looking up the bar?
yeah, the mermaid. Is it the mermaid? The Blushing Mermaid. It's like a tavern. It's like a really uh like adult tavern. I don't know. It's just a lot of alcohol. She's like, my daughter went missing there and I can't find her. Please help me. And then you see posters around the city that say, uh, if you've ever been harmed by a hag, we're a group of supporters that like help each other and try to get rid of hags and stuff.
Mm.
And these two quest lines merge together. And so if you go to the Hag support group, basically, May Mayrina's there for me because I helped her and resurrected her boyfriend into the zombie form. And then she goes to Baldur's Gate and she becomes the head of this support group, and she's like, I'm not that helpless person anymore, and I'm stronger now. And she's like more of a, she knows better now, kind of, and she's not annoying anymore, I think, but she still has her boyfriend with her, and she's like, they have like a special bond now. It's really cute, in my opinion. It's not like, she really made me mad in Act 1.
Maybe
But
when I do another playthrough, I'll let her live. But yeah, every single playthrough, I have just straight up just nuked her.
she was like, "Thank you so much for what you did." Um, and all of the other people in the support group are like, Marina's so amazing, and she helped me. I don't know what I'd do without her."
Oh
And
wow,
when you go to the support group at first, the hag has cursed Myrina and she's a sheep upstairs.
wow,
Yeah, and they're like, I think they know that the hag has something to do with the missing girl, Vanra, who's
mm-hmm.
like a little girl. And you go to the Blushing Mermaid and ask around, and everyone's like, no one's seen this girl. Why would there be a little girl here? Um, and so you go to the head of the tavern, and it's this piratey lady, and she's like, nothing's going on here. And you find their basement, and of course, in the basement is like the hag's minions that you kill. And basically, when you go back upstairs, you're like, there's a bunch of bewitched hag people downstairs, and the pirate lady that's the head of the tavern is actually the hag in disguise. And she's
Wow.
like, hey, I'm pregnant because I ate this missing little girl, and she's going to turn into another hag when I pop her out.
Oh
And
god,
yeah, and it's like
that's
she's like
metal.
jiggling her belly. She's like, I'm pregnant, bitches. And it's like, holy shit.
That's metal as fuck.
Yeah, and she's like bewitched the bartender. Like, no one knows that she's there in disguise.
Wow.
And so she's like, if you kill me, then Vanra's gonna die too, because she's inside of me. And I'll make a deal with you. And I didn't even make a deal. I didn't even see what the deal was because I'm just like, I hate this bitch. I hate this egg so much. I want her dead. So you go back into her lair, and the fight. in the Act 3 is not as hard at all as Act 1 was.
Really?
It's so much easier. She has these regenerative spore mushrooms, but if you
Hmm.
take those out, then she's easy peasy.
I'm
And
gonna have to do that.
if you beat her, then she'll vomit up Vanra's dead body and
Jeez. There's just
then she dies.
wow.
And for me, there was no happy ending with that, except
Yeah.
that the hag finally dies and won't torment any more people.
That's the
Uh,
better. That I think that would be the better choice because you don't want Vonra to become a hag because then she has to die. She'll be hunted.
yeah. Like this poor little girl, I felt bad for her, but if you go back to Mayrina, she's like, there's no happy ending when it comes to hags, but at least she's gone and we can feel safer at night now. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. But I really liked the continuation of the
That's
quest,
crazy. I
and
didn't know that.
I don't know what other choices. I don't know what she was going to offer me if I left her unharmed
Hmm.
too. So that might be a choice for my next playthrough.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to explore that. I didn't know that was a continuation. Yeah, I just killed her. She's like ungrateful, and I was like, well, if you're gonna be ungrateful, die. And I mean, it gave me extra Asterion points, so mm,
That's yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, anything for Asterion. That's crazy. Yeah. So let's move on to the final part. So a big choice after kill Gortash is, you know, Guardians like, or the Emperor's like, let's fucking go kill this brain. And you have the choice to either turn into a, and this is part of Karlach's, turn into a Mind Flayer, or Karlach says, I'll fucking do it. And I was so torn on how to save Karlach because she's gonna
I
die, or you
know.
send her down with Will, and I didn't build up Will's rapport with Karlach to be like, hey, you can go with her. So I turned Karlach into a Mind Flayer.
Okay, well, I guess like it might be better. I
To
didn't.
to me, she wanted to do it, and I didn't want to go against her wishes because she's like, I want to help, I want to save. And so she turns into a mind flayer. I was really bummed out about it, but I felt it was the better way. And she ends up being fucking gangster as hell, dude.
Yeah?
But yeah, dude, she's fucking sick. Dude, she's sick as a mind flayer. And so you start proceeding to the fight with the big brain. And that whole part was easy, like getting up to the brain for me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know about you, but when you're making your way through the barrage of enemies, it was actually not that bad.
No, I didn't have a difficult time with it.
Yeah, so then you get to like the final stand and you like talk to everyone and you give a speech and it's like, all right, it's time for the final boss. And so I sided with the Emperor to kill because I know you can piss off the Emperor and then you end up having to fight the Emperor with the brain, which I was like, I don't want to deal with that. Do not want to deal with that. So I sided with the Emperor to kill the brain. And so in that final fight with the brain, I ended up you say I saved what's his name? The tiefling from the first act where he's like kind of the leader of the group. What was his name?
Oh, Zori was it Zoriel?
Zariel or something like that. And he ends up being like a guard. And so I used him. I used Mizora as a meat shield. I was hoping she would die, but she doesn't. I used the Githyanki in the fight because that
Mm-hmm.
when they bring the fucking dragon, dude, the Gith fucked that dragon up, and the Gith actually bring in a dragon if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
But that final fight before you get to the actual brain, like when you're trying to get up there, was pretty rough. When you're fighting like the three shadow fucking whatever things that the brain summons. And so those are the characters that I use to help fight. And then blasted the fucking brain with the Emperor. And then Asterion at the end, Asterion, like you have a choice with like your love, and so Asterion was mine. And he's like, well, what do we do? And I was like, I'll help you find a way to live in the sun again. Because he, after you kill the Absolute, he can't be in the sun anymore. So he starts
Yeah.
burning and he runs away.
I
And
know.
so I
It's so
chased after him and I'm like, I love you. I want to be with you. Let's find a way to for you to be in the sunlight again. And he's just like, I would love that. And then, Karlak becomes the mind flayer and she goes through her other thing and Lizelle's like, I'm gonna dip, but I was like, later ho. And and then Gale's like, well, because the crown falls into the water and he's like, well, I feel Mistra. And I was like, see you later, dude.
Oh
And
my god.
later, bro. And then Will was like, I'm gonna go on my own thing. His father's like, thank you for saving Baldur's Gate again. And Shadowheart. I
So,
don't even know what happened to Shadowheart. I don't even remember if I had any dialogue with her after the game had ended.
oh
She's
shit.
she just kind of pieced. I didn't care. I got what I wanted from Asterion, and that was my ending.
So for Will with me, like in Act 3, Mizora was like, "Hey, I'll cut your contract with me in half if I forget what the
She wants his dad.
yeah." So I killed Will's dad,
Oh shit,
and so Will becomes the new what the fuck of Baldur's Gate? What?
Duke.
Yeah, the new Duke, the Duke of Ravengard.
Hmm.
So he was sad at first, and like everyone was sad, but then after a little bit, he's like, everyone was like, Will be a fine Duke, and everyone lived happily ever after there.
Yeah, I kept Will as the devil and spared his dad. I was like, no, Mizora, you're a fucking cunt. You don't need any more underneath your fucking finger, you stupid whore.
Right? Like, ugh.
But yeah, that
Fucking
was my
hate
ending. How
Laura
did
so
how
much.
did how did you do your fight?
So my fight was like the same as yours at the end. With Karlak, it's so sad. She's like gonna burn up, and I went to Avernus with Karlak, and we're like,
Aww.
we're going to find a way to save you. And I think I didn't. I like literally just finished the game today, so I didn't even have time to go and do the epilogue. But apparently, there's a happier ending for
Good.
Karlak in the epilogue.
I don't know what happens with Asterion, and I don't want to know. I want to do the epilogue and just be like profoundly shocked or happy or sad. I don't know. But yeah, that was my ending on my first playthrough. And God, when I beat the game, I immediately jumped into a second playthrough.
I know. It just, I love this game so much. I want to
What?
keep playing.
Yeah, it's 5 playthroughs, gonna start a six. Oh my God.
Holy shit. Oh, I hope they add more content. I mean, they keep adding epilogue stuff, so.
Because it's just so fucking good. Even people that I would never expect to played it. They're like, "Holy shit, this game is great!" And I was like, "You just it's just so fucking the story's so good. Ugh, I love it so much. And then after talking to you and like a couple other people, there's just so much stuff I've missed that I want to go
Yeah.
back and I want to experience and I want to do differently. I still will not romance any other person than Asterion. But
You don't want to anyone else.
he's my one and only, my ride or die, like you
Hey.
say. Can't stop, won't stop. Living by the blood.
Won't stop. Okay.
Love him. But
I get it.
God, Baldur's Gate. Love you. It's masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece.
It is. I hope they continue to add extra content.
We're gonna have to do another episode on our dirge. We'll do a condensed dirge
Mhm.
episode and talk about our epilogues.
Yes, let's
Um,
do it.
but yeah, guys, is there? Do you have anything else for Baldur's Gate, Tabby?
Hmm. Just don't forget about Mints because I love him and
I
amazing extra content at the end.
After the first playthrough, I've had Mints, so but I want to explore him a little bit more because he's a treasure for sure. I definitely want to explore more with Mints.
And just don't forget about going to see Kethric Thorm in Act 2.
Go to the fort before you go fight Night
Yes.
Song.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but guys, this has been a crazy first season of Tipsy Geeks Unite. Tabby and I want to thank you guys all for listening and bearing with us as we learn our way through making a podcast, and just enjoying the fuck out of talking about Baldur's Gate, Okami Stray, and everything geeky. We'll be back for a second season in late April, early May for more fucking geeky content. Yes. Tabby, anything to close our final episode?
I just want to say thank you for letting me come aboard and be here with you. And it's really, I think, motivated me to get more into my geeky side and analyze things a little more. And also, it's helped me become more motivated, again, pushing my boundaries in voice acting. So I
Hell
wanted
yeah.
to say thank you for you for
Absolutely.
that.
But guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Our fun facts, you'll have to wait for the second season. But until next time, have a nice fucking cocktail, get geeky, and love it.
Cheers. We'll see you later. Thank you so much for tuning in to another tipsy and geeky adventure with Tipsy Geeks Unite. We hope you had as much fun as we did.
Absolutely. And remember, you can catch our episodes on your favorite podcast platforms. We're available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review if you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to join us bi-weekly. We unveil 2 new episodes every other Tuesday, promising a continuous dose of excitement and nerdiness just for you.
And for an extra dose of geekiness, check out the show notes for links to our individual Twitch channels. You can catch us individually streaming a variety of video games, and we'd love to have you join us.
Thanks for geeking out with us, and until next time, stay tipsy and keep on geekin'.
Cheers, geeks!